choose this, what is the fucking point? Where will it take me? And when will it inevitably kill me? Searching the far reaches of my mind as if wallowing in uncertainty will bring any clarity. I find myself exhausting all options until I return to my factual, undeniable, certain truth. There is no running. There is no compromise. There is no winning, and there is definitely no losing. There is only noise. There is only power. The power of unrelenting volume beating my brain into submission. And when I hear this noise, that is the only time when I know why I am here. When I know exactly what I need to fucking do to survive. Turn it up.
Good evening, my non-existent viewers. Happy February 1st. I'm currently recording this at 9:52 p.m. I had to take a last-minute shift at one of the gyms here in Columbus because I've had a second job to go with the zoo since December at this, so almost a month and a half at this point, where I work front desk at the LA Fitnesses here in Columbus. I've had my LA Fitness membership for over a year at this point. That's crazy. There was a really great LA Fitness right on the corner from the Dogtopia that I worked at last year near my dad's place in New Jersey, right? And there was an LA Fitness right next to us, I got a gym membership, and that place became like a new community to me, more than just a gym. It was like church away from church, you could say. Like, just lifting weights, see my personal trainer once a week, and, just running on a treadmill and going to their boot camp classes. A year ago, I had no idea I would ever end up working at one. And one of the best parts about the job is that I get to work out there for free, right? And the frickin', I just took a shift today at the Hilliard location in Columbus for the first time. I've been to the gym before just to work out, but this is my first time working front desk there, and I've already covered at another location quite a few times within the past month, right? And all three of my new coworkers and managers at all three of those locations are really nice. Like, even the new ones I just met today. Like, it's a very positive environment. And, and this is what I'm going to discuss for a lot of this video. I just showcased you guys some Beartooth concert footage, right? Which, fingers crossed my video doesn't get blocked for copyright. I saw Beartooth in concert. Like, it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing too, because like I only really see concerts for bands that like I have like loved and have like had so much nostalgia for years. But like Beartooth wasn't really one of those cases, like, because I listened to Beartooth when I did my live stream, back when I hit 1,500 subscribers back in 2021. Like, I reacted to 2 Beartooth music videos in that live stream, so I definitely listened to Beartooth back in college, but I really didn't get, like, hooked on them until my Nebraska internship, which this past January 25th, that marked 2 years since my last day interning at the Riverside Discovery Center in Nebraska, which is fucking crazy to me at this point because, I don't really have a singular favorite out of all my zoo internships, right? Like, I'd say the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo is the best in regards of, like, animal interaction. Like, I got to touch the tapir Kafan, may he rest in peace. It wasn't until I edited that video that I did talk about a capstone project for the zoo internship, right? It wasn't until after I made that video and uploaded it I heard the news that Kafan passed away. So, yeah, rest in peace, buddy. I miss you every day. Yeah, I got to help with his laser treatment and scratch his chin and his cheeks and between the ears quite a few times. They look like Pooh Bears, tapirs, right? Or like anteaters, but their closest relatives are actually horses and rhinos. They're odd-toed ungulates. So I got to touch him, I got to touch the cattle egrets, and even like a penguin once. I got to feed an orangutan, a Sumatran orangutan, not a Bornean one, named Baka. One afternoon, we had a little, just a one-time thing around the primates, the orangutans. They have both Borneo and Sumatran orangutans and gorillas. Yeah, and I even got to target train zebras that place. So, like, in terms of, like, animal interaction, like, Colorado Springs and, like, Cheyenne Mountain Zoo was the best, right? But just, like, on a personal level, like, the most life-changing, like, the one that really just impacted me as a person the most was the Riverside Discovery Center in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Again, not just the internship and all the insanity I saw that zoo go through. Like, again, animal death's the hardest part of the job, rest in peace, the Amur tigers and the 2 mountain lions, which they have a new mountain lion and they have a new tiger now, so I'm really proud of them for it. And they got spotted hyenas now, and they've had like more successful animal births. But just like, it was insane, like being in Nebraska for 12 weeks. A state I had never been to prior to my internship at that place, and I really had a massive reality check about how serious my anger issues were. And I started taking like notes on how often I get angry over things every day. And I still, I really started taking that seriously, like, right after my internship ended in Nebraska, because that place gave me the whack in the face that I needed to, like, I need to get a grip over my temper sometimes. And, like, I started door dashing back then. That was a huge part of my life for a year and a half. I stopped this past April. I've considered going back to DoorDash when my layoff period from the zoo eventually comes around, where I'm, like, taking a break from the zoo for 2 months, and I got, like, kill time for 8 weeks, basically, before they have me back. I may or may not change departments pretty soon. I have an interview for the education department this coming Thursday that I need to get ready for. I make a little presentation for them, right? Because I have a good feeling that education is the right route for me. But, like, well, I got take this interview first, and if all goes according to plan, I might, that might get started for me in April this year. And yeah, like I've considered going back to DoorDash, like just for that 2-month hiatus from the zoo, right? Yeah, DoorDashing was a huge part of my life for a year and a half, and it all started at that Applebee's in Scottsbluff. That was my first order, right? And I just cracked my knuckles, and I was like, let's do this. So, if she's watching this, she knows who she is. I had the closest thing to a girlfriend since Sarah and I broke up, my ex-girlfriend from 2020. That was, like, ever since we split up, like, she was, for not her actual name, but Misty. When I met Misty, that fall, like, it was like kind of the closest thing I had to a girlfriend since, like, my ex and I split up, because, like, we were seeing each other on a weekly basis for 2 months roughly. And yeah, like, and just like juggling the zoo internship and DoorDash and a part-time job at Safeway, which again, my managers, my former managers and coworkers from that place, shout out to you guys, you all know who you are. Some of them I still keep in touch with to this day. And yeah, just like, I made life work there for 12 weeks, and it was really rough seeing everything that zoo went through, right? But I really wouldn't have had it any other way. Like, the reality checks and mistakes I made when I was there, and, again, just all that happening at once was just, like, insane thinking about it now. And I was interviewed for a keeper position at that place, and a keeper assistant position at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, but, they both chose other candidates. Same the Liberty Science Center, and I think this interview I had for Columbus was my 6th interview since I didn't get hired at Liberty Science Center and started working at the Dogtopia, Union, New Jersey. But yeah, it's like, hey, 9's my favorite number, so 2 interviews from, like, zoos I actually interned at, then, like, a museum interview, and, like, 6 zoo interviews, like, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 6. That's 9, my favorite number. Hey! Lucky number 9. But yeah, like, just overall, so yeah, Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, best for animal interaction. RDC was best for just, like, personal impacts. And the Utica Zoo is definitely my favorite, like, in terms of the other people I met. Just, like, the cast of characters, both the zookeepers, the other interns, and, zoo employees, and, like, roommates, and, like, local people, like, in that town. Like, Utica, New York in this case. That was hands down my favorite. And, like, one of my guys there, like, one of the keepers who was supervising me quite a bit, he actually left that zoo for the Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle a few months after my internship there ended, to be closer to his boyfriend out there. And I really considered taking a vacation to Seattle at some point this year. And my friend Joe and I are throwing ideas of, like, taking a vacation to Washington, D.C. to see our friend Connor. Which, both those ideas, I'm just like, hell yes, because good news, I'm back on my mom's flight benefits. So hopefully I can, maybe it's going to be expensive, but hopefully travel more this year and go to more concerts this year. Because already there's, like, big music festivals. Another reason why the RDC impacted me is, like, one of the keepers there, again, she's watching this, she knows who she is, got me hooked on Beartooth. Because she was, like, bopping in between while we were driving the golf cart one day. I was like, whoa, this song rules. Like, what is it? It's like, it's just like In Between by Beartooth. It's like, I filmed myself singing In Between at karaoke night, last week. So after I upload this video, I'm gonna post it. And it's like, just about the Beartooth concert. Like, they started the show with The Surface off their latest album back in 2023, and then after that they played The Past Is Dead, and honestly I filmed them playing Hated, because, like, Hated is one of my favorite songs from them. I think my top 3 favorite Beartooth songs are, number 3 is The Better Me off their latest album, which is honestly my favorite song of 2023. That song is infectiously positive and inspirational. That's the thing. Beartooth is one of those metal bands where they don't write songs, right? They write lessons. Because there's so much, like, great life advice and encouragement and just their irresistible energy and their heavy metal sound and Caleb Shomo's, like, powerful vocals. That dude can, like, sing like an angel and just scream like a freaking banshee on the flip of a dime. And it's crazy. Like, Hate is my second favorite song from them. That song, let me just set my drink really quick. Ah, that's good. Yeah, like, Hated, that song, it just reminds me of, like, hyenas. Like, the two hyenas that give keeper chats for the Utica Zoo, Connie and Amara, the two striped hyenas there. As well as, like, wolves, snakes, because it's the year of the snake. Like, happy Chinese New Year. That was this past Wednesday. I drew pictures of snakes at my local library. That's my new ritual, just walk over to the library and just draw a boatload of pictures. And just watch the world go by. So I drew my animal Chinese calendar, the tiger, holding a dead snake in its jaws, which I've considered making that a tattoo at some point. Like, whatever year it is on the Chinese calendar, I'll have a tattoo of a tiger, like, feasting on, like, on either a snake or a horse or a goat or a monkey or a rooster or a dog or a pig or a rat or an ox or a rabbit or a dragon. The other animals in the Chinese calendar, like, which it's crazy. Like, you know, it's finally year of the snake. My dream zoo would have, like, it would be like Busch Gardens, right, in Tampa, Florida, the zoo theme park hybrid that I interned at when I was 17, right? It would be that, like, you know, mostly African and Asian animals, but, like, take away the roller coasters and replace it with, like, you know, just make it, like, if it was just a zoo, like, without the roller coasters, like, it would have more Asian animals based on the 12 animals in the Chinese calendar that I just listed off. We'll call it the Asian Zodiac, right? So, like, for Year of the Rabbit, we'll have, like, you know, giant Flemish rabbits and some wild rabbit species, and, like, for Year of the Ox, you know, for the farm animals in the Chinese calendar, we'll have both the wild counterpart to the domesticated versions of those animals. So, like, for ox, we'll have, like, both, like, maybe Highland cattle or something, and, like, you know, Indian gaur or bantangs or something like that. Because oxen isn't really, like, referring to a specific species of cattle, just castrated bulls. Which, ouch, that hurts. But yeah, then tigers, obviously, for every big cat, they'll have one little cat go with it. So we'll have palace cats or something like that, like another Asian, like, little cat species right next to a bunch of tigers that we'll rescue from, like, drug dealers and circuses. A lot of rescue tigers in need, and maybe breeds like Siberian tigers, or should I say Amur tigers, or Sumatran tigers, or Malayan tigers, because zoos do that for those three subspecies, but Bengal tigers, because there's white many of them. And, you know, they're all inbreeds too, especially the white tigers. Poor things. I want to rescue them because, you know, it's not the tiger's fault, it's just bad humans. And for Year of the Rat, no, I'm sorry, Year of the Rat the calendar starts the Year of the Rat, so we'll have, like, a house of, like, various Asian rodent species, and, like, for Year of the Dragon, Year of the Snake, since the 2 years are right next to each other. We'll have, like, Komodo dragons and other lizards for Year of the Dragon, and we'll have, like, cobras and pythons and vipers for Year of the Snake, which is this year. And, you know, for Year of the Horse, Year of the Goat, Year of the Monkey, there'll be, like, a few monkey species and maybe because the Busch Gardens has orangutans right next to their tigers, so, like, orangutans and gibbons with, like, 4 Asian monkey species, perhaps, maybe 6, maybe. And then, like, for Year of the Rooster, we'll have, like, not just, like, you know, chickens, but, like, you know, various Asian bird species for, like, an aviary section. We'll call it, like, Garden of the Rooster or something. And for Year of the Dog, we'll have, like, if it's not in a state with any native wolves, we'll have wolves there. Maybe African wild dogs or Asian wild dogs called dholes. Every Year of the Pig, we'll have, like, barbarousas next to, like, Vietnamese potbelly pigs. You know, like, domesticated pigs right next to wild pigs. I think that'd be pretty sweet. The calendar ends at the Year of the Pig. And then it'd be, like, an ICR section, like, islands, coasts, and rivers. You know, for, like, Australian animals, and, like, an Amazonian river section for South American animals. And, you know, like, you know, like, the aquatic species, like sea lions and penguins. And, like, an African wetlands section, you know, right next to the African safari section with hippos and crocodiles. And again, like, you know, Busch Gardens will replace the roller coasters with more North American animals. We'll have a Forever North America section where it's like, hey, we used to have these prehistoric animals in this respective state, and here are their closest modern relatives. So like that section will start with like a little transition from the ICR section into North America section. It'll have like aquatic invertebrates and fishes and amphibians, leading up to like the skeleton of whatever the state's respective dinosaur is. The dinosaur of that, the official dinosaur of that state. Next, like American alligators. And, because, of course, Busch Gardens in frickin' Florida, of course, they have alligators. So we'll have alligators and, like, turtles right next to those dinosaur skeletons with North American birds. And since there used to be, like, more big cats in North America, like American lions and American cheetahs, we can have, like, the lions and the cheetahs and the jaguars and the mountain lions all, like, right next to each other. Be like, hey, we used to have, like, these extinct cat species, and here are their closest modern relatives. And we'll have, like, ocelots and, like, bobcats and other, like, smaller cats, too, right next to the bigger ones. As well as, like, wolves and bears. And even, like, rhinos and elephants, because, we used to have, like, mastodons and mammoths. Which are not the same thing. A lot of people don't know that. In these states. And even, like, prehistoric rhinos and camels and sloths and so many wonderful Ice Age megafauna. We'll have them, like, right next to... We'll have, like... the African and, like, Asian, like, modern, like, counterparts, like, right next to the prehistoric fossils of those respective animals. And, of course, it'll end with, like, a whole bunch of, like, native species that you'll still find that respective, state. And, of course, the whole ass African safari section full of giraffes and rhinos and, gazelle and ostriches and zebras. And all the awesome, like, African, like, savanna mammals and hyenas and African wild dogs, too. And, the house of the monkey and ape will be, like, a transition from, like, the Asian zodiac section into the African safari section, because, the left half of will have, like, the Asian, like, monkey species and orangutans, and the right half of it will have, like, gorillas and chimps, the two grapes from Africa right next to, like, colobus monkeys and various, like, African monkeys. And then, you go down that trail, and there'll be, like, maybe even African leopards, and, like, pygmy hippos, and, like, Nile, like, for the African wetlands section. Which again will be, like, a transition from, like, ICR into, like, African section, African wetlands, like, full of hippos and crocodiles, and African cichlids, those fishes. But yeah, Beartooth is just, like, one of those bands that, like, really gets my creative juices flowing through me. Like, I made a whole playlist called Songs to Draw Dinosaurs To on Spotify. And there were them and, like, bands like Parkway Drive and Gojira are, like, the main reasons why I made those playlists. Because those three bands, and a lot of other bands in particular, like, have songs just, like, invoke, like, primal imagery. Just, my various characters, my fantasy novel, like, riding their pet dinosaurs, going on a hunt, or, like, fighting the bad guys and stuff like that. So that'd be bopping. Like, my favorite Beartooth song is In Between. Right? Because it's, like, that and Hate are, like, the anthems for the outcasts. And it's crazy, because Caleb Shomo, I think in the middle of I forget what song it is. I think The Past Is Dead. He busted out a freaking flamethrower and started spraying it in the air. Can you imagine anything more kick-ass than Caleb Shomo? Excuse me. Of Beartooth firing, a flamethrower in the air, just not giving a crap. It was amazing. That dude's energy is, like, unreal. And I feel like my brain has been a lot nicer to me since I saw Beartooth in concert. Like, that whole concert was, like, I felt a negative presence lifted off my shoulders. Because I've already noticed that, like, it's been a lot easier for me to, like, control my thoughts and not be angry over, like, compare myself to others or dwell in the past as much lately. Because Caleb showed me, who's like, hey, all the shit you have just built up inside of you, just let it go and just leave it here tonight. And that's what we did. And he's like, oh, make the loudest noise you can possibly make. I just did my best Godzilla impression. And yeah, like, he did an acoustic version of Mr. Brightside by The Killers. And the whole concert, I was like, hey, where's In Between? Like, that's my favorite song from Where's In Between? And that's a very song they ended the show with, which, again, that song has that very just, like, let's get this party started vibe to it every time I listen to it. So I imagine them always starting the show with that, that song, starting the concert that way. But no, they actually said it for the very end, which that makes sense because it is arguably their most iconic song, like depending on who you ask. And and that song was just such a bop. It's like whoa, whoa. And there's some great new connections at that concert too. I got some dudes on social media that are super cool, and I think I've made some new friends. Just took another sip from my drink. But yeah, there was a lot just going on, a lot of theatrics, and the show ended with In Between, and yeah, I Ubered straight from work because my roommate Bradley dropped me off because I had to work at the gym that day. And straight after that, I took an Uber to the shot scene center, which that was my first time ever seeing OSU's campus, which is crazy. I didn't even know that Beartooth was from Columbus until I moved here. There were opening acts like Boundaries and Sleep Theory and Dayseeker. They all did a great job too. It's crazy because Boundaries is based in Hartford, Connecticut, and my sister's now fiance is from Connecticut. She's been living with him in Connecticut for a year and a half at this point. It's insane that they're engaged now. I'm gonna have a brother-in-law really soon, next year, and they asked me to officiate the wedding. I gotta ask my friend Ian for advice because he officiated my friend Tom's wedding back in 2020. Which, yeah, here's the thing. I did rewatch my New Year's Day Skizzo rambling before recording this video. I made notes as what things I wanted to discuss in that video, but forgot to do so. I said I'd gush more over Gojira, for playing at the Olympics this past summer, right? But I also wanted just Gojira is one of those bands where I want to thank them personally for just making me into who I am today, because my ex-girlfriend Sarah was wearing a Gojira sweatshirt the night I first met her. It's been 5 years since my relationship with her started back then, and we were seeing each other for 5.5 months, and then yeah, she left that summer, which obviously I have nothing against her. We didn't end on bad terms. I really hope she's in good health. I truly she deserves nothing but the best. And it's just insane because this is one thing, because Gojira was the thing that kind of brought us together. It was that the combined efforts of my small group leader Ian and her friend Riley and my friend Mark for driving us to the house party at Brent's place, and Brent, and then of course freaking Gojira of all things. Yeah, because Gojira is again, it's a great metal band for people who don't listen to metal. They are very heavy and they get screamy, but it's not without any rhyme or reason. There's so much substance to their lyrics. They're very pro-environmentalism and saving the environment and just pro-human rights. They're big advocates for standing up for Tibet. Their song "The Chant" is a great example of that. And yeah, that is the thing. Gojira and Slipknot and Avenged Sevenfold and Dragon Force got me through college, while Beartooth and A Day to Remember and Atreyu and other punk and metal bands and emo bands and alternative bands and hard rock bands and the Zookeepers at the Nebraska Zoo got me into 2 years ago. Got me through that internship and my door dashing days. And being at that pet resort I worked at during my YouTube hiatus, and the Utica Zoo, and being back home in New Jersey for 13 months. Yeah, maybe who I am today. It's insane. And here's the thing. I am kind of determined to get a new girlfriend this year, but I don't want to rush anyone into anything. Obviously, that never ends well. Just being if you're just getting desperate, if you're that in a hurry to get a relationship, it probably means that you're not ready for one in the first place. And besides, I love being at the zoo. It's the best job I've ever had. I love my main job, being in the gorilla section, which is probably gonna soon turn into the education section. I'm pretty confident about this coming interview. But I love being at the zoo. I really like my second job, at the gym. It's had a lot of good things going for me, like in the evenings and my days off from the zoo. And I've just been like enjoying life since I've been here. Like, I've, been singing karaoke at the bowling alley like once a week. And there's a lot going on. Like, Columbus is a young town. It's very diverse. And it's growing too. And I have been warned about Ohio being like not the best best state to live in for long term, but it's like I how do I put this? Like, if being in Nebraska of all freaking places for 12 weeks back in 2022 and 2023 taught me anything, it's like I don't hate people. I've known that about myself ever since high school. I don't hate anyone, and Nebraska and being back home in New Jersey, my dad's house for 13 months, taught me is that like I don't hate any places either. Because like this is why like I don't like going out of my way to rewatch my old videos from high school, because like high school was a really difficult time for me. But it's like I didn't want to get away from Milburn because of anything with like Milburn itself. It was just like a bad taste I had in my mouth from like the school district that I grew up with, as well as like all the personal issues I had from home and with myself. Like, again, it wasn't. I'm really glad to be in Ohio. I'm glad I've found a place where I have. This is like my new home where I can, really make my stand. Because I finally got an Ohio driver's license coming to me in the mail pretty soon. I got Ohio State license plates on my car, which is cool that like Ohio doesn't require you to have like 2 license plates. Like, you can have just one like on the back of your car. That's all good. I think that's pretty sick. And yeah, like, I think it's official that, like, this is gonna be where I, like, stand my ground and make my way into life. Because, if I had to go back to, like, grad school for whatever reason, I would probably go back to CSU for the master's degree in zoo and aquarium and animal shelter management. And, like, it's weird because, like, I have more family in Denver nowadays than I do friends over there. Like, I still have my old friends from CSU, right? But only one of them lives, like, next to my uncle's house in Denver. It's just him and, like, and my uncle, my mom, and my new stepdad, basically. That's it. But at the same time, like, back home in New Jersey, it's really just my dad. And, like, my sister's in Connecticut with her now fiance. And my uncle Jim and Jerry are in New York City. So it's really just my dad, in my immediate, like, neighborhood. But I still have, like, I have more friends I've known since, like, elementary school and middle school and high school. And I still hang out with whenever I go back home to New Jersey, in northern New Jersey. And, I feel like the Liberty Science Center would be a really decent, like, plan B or C. Because, like, I was interviewed for them, and they chose another candidate, but that's okay. Like, like, that's not going to discourage me from trying them again. Like, if Columbus, God forbid, doesn't work out in the grand scheme of things. Which, again, this is why I, like, kind of considered going back to door dashing when my layoff period from the zoo comes around. But we'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, it's like, all things considered, I feel like I'm, like, been enjoying life in Columbus since I moved here. And I'm ready for someone to share it with. But again, I would rather just, like, stay single and be on the path I'm on right now with the zoo and the gym and, like, all these other goals I have, both with, like, YouTube and, like, reading and writing and drawing and making videos and, like, playing Minecraft and stuff like that. I'm better off just sticking with it than dating the wrong person is going to distract me from those things. If the right person is not going to distract me from those things, great. It's just like the last chick I met just wasn't her, and that's okay. And it's crazy, like, as kids we had crushes on, like, female characters in movies and TV shows, like Victoria Justice on Victorious. I did a whole Victorious splurge lately on Paramount Plus. And it's crazy, like, how, like, Ariana Grande has come such a long way since she played Cat Valentine and Victorious. From, like, that to, like, Sam and Cat to, like, pop star singer like sensation, and now she's like an Oscar nominated actress for her role in Wicked, playing Galinda. Hey, that's crazy to me, like how much she's grown. Like, I don't know if I really like her as a person, but as an actress, as a singer, like, wow, she's come a long way since Nickelodeon. And yeah, like Oscar nominees, I'm pretty confident Wild Robot's gonna win Best Animated Feature. Like, if it does, I'm gonna like scream with absolute joy, because DreamWorks totally deserves a freaking Oscar after 20 years since Wallace and Gromit came out, which the new Wallace and Gromit movie was released too, and it's up for that Oscar, so I gotta watch that at some point. I'm really determined to watch more of the Oscar nominees this February, like Give the Substance or Flow, because it was a Golden Globe winner for Best Animated Feature. And I hear some Latvia, my mom's neighboring country, from Lietuva, Lithuania. So I'm really interested in checking it out now. And yeah, like it's gonna be a year full of surprises. Well, I know it. Yeah, whether I do like stay here in Columbus for another like year or two or not. Yeah, I think that's gonna conclude it for this video. Yeah, because I want to edit and like post it before midnight. I'm getting pretty tired. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so yeah. Thank you so much for watching this February 2024 Skizzo Rambling, and thanks Daily for talking me into like reviewing the Henry Danger movie on Paramount Plus. Like, that was a really great movie that you suggested. And like and yeah, I hope I can do more artwork and read more books this year. So I expect more book reviews coming your way pretty soon from my channel. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Stay beastly.